We found as our children are getting bigger that we could consider this house at another level and test ideas around, well, could we extend it? And can we still maintain an outdoor space? Can we provide for the opportunity for us to divide up and not be on top of one another? And that would be the success of this home and the success of being able to stay here in this home.
I want to thank Skillshare for sponsoring this episode. Some of you may know, but many may not, that it's just me behind this channel, doing everything from sourcing projects, filming, editing, and publishing. My partner and I also welcomed our first baby a few months ago, so I knew I needed to create systems and improve my productivity to have a balance between work and family. And thankfully, Skillshare has a wide array of classes for just that. I've been taking classes from Thomas Frank, learning how I can create systems for my work, which actually started with changing my mindset to see myself as a professional and the importance of having a schedule. Skillshare has classes across so many topics and interests, like graphic design, photography, writing, illustration, watercolors, social media, and really just a whole lot more. If you want to learn how to create a logo, which I might do after this video, or maybe learn how to draw a floor plan, Skillshare has a class for you. So when you're ready to unlock your creativity and learn something new, the first 500 people to use my link in the description below will get access to one of Skillshare's best offers, 30 days free and 40% off your first year of Skillshare membership.
The house had been lived in by a series of renters, so it was pared back to white walls, acrylic carpets, period details were tacked on, but we could see beyond that. The space was ample for two of us, because at the time it was James and I, and then Captain joined us, our cat. Everything was oversized for the footprint, and we very quickly worked out that being an interior designer, we could make things function much more efficiently and allow us to live here a lot longer as a family as we grew if we came through and progressively modified different spaces to make them work really hard. You enter through a period door into our corridor, which you can see right through the house to the rear boundary. There's 3 bedrooms. Move into the really hard-working part of the house, which was poorly planned previously, but we knew that we could replan that space by creating 2 bathroom spaces, one that is an ensuite and has a laundry and a shower and a very expansive vanity. When you duck out of that room onto the corridor, we use not putting any walls to create storage opportunities. So although they might only be for 100 mil, they're great spaces for overflow food. We've got a little powder room which has a bath in it with a shower over it. The layout of the kitchen and the dining space needed to work across the room so that we had enough space for our living space. We've got a good sense of flow to be able to work. So in full flight, when there's sort of the 4 of us cooking, there's enough room for us to produce and create what we need to. In modifying this 90s renovation, we created highlight windows across the north facade, and we took the west facade and worked within the existing opening to put in big sliding steel doors to open up onto the garden. We then moved through into our sitting room, which we've nicknamed the sunroom because of the way it's oriented and with the skylights, the glass wall and roof. The courtyard, it's integral, it's an outdoor room really, and working with stomata spaces to select the right type of planting. We've tried a few different things, but we've come back to olive trees and banksias and then finding little bits of greenery that would work into the small spaces so that everything feels softened. Materials selection for the home started with the floors and the walls. It's been a gentle progression from sort of day one of moving in here. Last year, we decided, because we are not going anywhere, that we would like to change the flooring over to something really hard and robust. So we've used a white mahogany, and that has cohesively brought the entire house together. We've applied white set plaster to walls, knowing that they provide so much more interest, just the subtle way that light plays off. So our south-facing very long wall, which is always relatively intimidating to deal with, gives you a subtle sort of change of texture. What are the materials we're going to choose to use in our bathroom? I've been working with micro cement product because it's completely seamless. It has, light plays on it beautifully. It has a craftsmanship-like quality, and it doesn't necessarily draw your eye to it being a tile and a feature. And we placed it on the floor as well. We lined the south wall in a black steel, again, because it has this great patina to it that reflects light. Probably biggest challenge for us in terms of selecting materials for the walls of the extension was, well, where are going to be in this kitchen living space? And we're now going to be looking at a building rather than a garden. What are we going to finish that in? We thought of some feature materials, could have been a feature tile, could have been some sort of gorgeous Japanese mosaic, but we thought, take away one material, what are you left with? We're left with brick. So how could we finish that in a way that would be tactile and interesting to look at? And so we used a seconds brick, and we've finished it in the same product that we finished the bathrooms with, which is a micro cement, and left us with a product that should patina and age in a really enduring and endearing way. It has been gratifying as well to do the project in phases, because there's been parts along the way that weren't completely resolved. So we've had the opportunity to come back and go, okay, now this last wave, which was to redo the floors and then tweak the finishings of the skirtings and the arcs, has made it feel more cohesive, because although it might not bother anybody else, to me, there was just these things of, well, I could go and create some grand gesture in the hallway that might make it feel more cohesive. But it was interesting how it was a more simplified exercise of choosing architraves and skirtings that made it feel like that was the little piece on the end that made that was like the bringing together of the new and the old.